right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Second market analysis of the day: New Zealand versus the US dollar. Now we think we're looking at a major reversal on this one. We've talked about that before. We've been looking at this. We've been tracking this movement, right? This turnaround right from the get-go. We had this key level system in place ever since July, ever since June 2019. So we were looking at this very closely when price began to to encounter this 59.23 level bottom support. We've seen that huge comeback, right? That huge spike, suggesting that this is a very strong support. It's probably going to hold. And then, of course, the next month, price began to push itself off that area, and the reversal began to take shape. So we believe at this point, we might be looking at a major tipping point. The kind of, tipping points that determine major trends. So if this is going to be that bottom, as we suspect, on a large scale, then we should expect a move that could take us pretty much back to where price came from. And when I say came from, I'm talking about, 3 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, when price was still trading around the levels of 74 back at the middle of 2017, right? The area of 2016, 2017, and then the turnaround began, and for 2.5, 3 years, price was on the downside, right? At this point, we think that's the end of the road. The meeting with 59.23, the spectacular reaction here on the bottom suggests that price is more likely at this point to shift direction and begin to build up some positive momentum. In this case, an upside trend. So that's, the big picture, right? That's the situation on the large scale. I want to take you inside. Let's zoom in and go all the way to the daily chart here. We were able to fine tune the actual movement, the actual moment of where we pull the trigger, the actual moment of the entry. We had this 61.22 level that we knew was an obstacle. We knew price had to break through that area, but it was also playing around with it, flirting around with it. The daily being noisy as it is, had very little respect to that level. But at some point we felt that yesterday, right? I mean, you can see how it almost broke and then it came back a few times back and forth here. But yesterday seems to be different a little bit, right? Because it actually looks like a move that's begin to break out for real, right? It begins to move away from that area, the danger area, 61.22, and it looked like a legit breakout. So if you couple this, which is more of a local situation, with the big picture scenario that I've just presented, then obviously we can talk about what seems to be a triggering effect right now, triggering event. I'm talking about yesterday in the in the whole scheme of this bullish conviction. We're pulling the trigger, and we're going to aim at 65.47. I want to show you again why 65.47, guys. We can't really try and aim for the other side here, for the upper section. It's unrealistic. It's too far, right? That could take literally a year or two. So we don't want to go that far. We're just going to focus on the first one. The mid-low key level 65.47 represents less than 400 pip, about 370 pip or something like that, 360 pip, and that should be enough, right? It should be enough. It also could take some time to manifest. It could take a few days up to a couple of weeks or so. It will definitely be interesting to come back and follow up on the situation. That's exactly what we'll do. We're starting with stop loss level deep in the areas of 60, 0.6. All right, next time we'll come back. Hopefully we'll be able to build up a bigger size position and give you the update about this one, you know, as it becomes relevant. All right, guys, that's about that for the New Zealand US dollar. Looking bullish, pulling the trigger here for the first time. We'll be back to follow up. See you in the next video. Take care.